Hey everyone, and welcome back to Well with Mika, where we talk real wellness for your real life. I'm Mika, your cultural wellness ally, here with you on this lifestyle design journey. So, in our last episode, we talked about finding your why, that anchor keeping you motivated and focused. So, today we're going to explore the dimensions of wellness. Because we know wellness is more than celery sticks and ellipticals, all right? So, we're going to break down all the different areas of your life that impact your overall well being and discuss why taking this holistic, whole self approach is key. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so what are the dimensions of wellness? First, let us clear up a couple of things. When we think about wellness, a lot of us sometimes we stop at the physical. We think about exercising. We could even include eating right in the physical, even though I'll separate those out, but we'll talk about that later, and getting enough sleep. But there is so much more to it. Okay, wellness is about balance across different areas of your life. Now, don't get it confused. Balance for me might mean something different to you. So that's why we don't compare. Okay, my balance is not your balance. So don't compare your balance to someone else's. You have to find what's right for you. That's why we talked about that why. That's why we talked about that real wellness. All right. So let's get into what those dimensions are. So we have physical wellness, which is caring for your body through movement, nutrition, even rest, and preventative care. We have emotional wellness, which is recognizing and understanding and managing your feelings and mental health. We have social wellness, which is building and maintaining meaningful, supportive relationships. And then I told you I separate out nutritional wellness from physical wellness because it's such a huge component. So we're going to take nutritional wellness out of the physical, even though some people include it in physical. But nutritional wellness, I mean, it's obvious it's making good food choices that nourish your body, that fuel your body, keep your organs operating properly. That's all nutritional wellness. Occupational wellness, which is finding fulfillment and balance in your work or your daily responsibilities. Then there's spiritual wellness, not tied to religion, but just spiritual wellness in terms of connecting with something bigger than yourself, whether that's nature, creativity, or just purpose, whatever is feeding your soul. And then also, we could also have environmental wellness, where you think about setting up your environment, your personal space, so that it fuels you, it feeds you, it gives you energy, it's not draining, it's safe, okay? So those are all the dimensions of wellness. And each of these dimensions work together to create a truly holistic, whole self approach to wellness. For example, you could be healthy, chefing it up in the kitchen, getting in a marathon's worth of steps on the daily. But if you stay popping off at work or you're feeling isolated and disconnected socially, something is off and you need to check it. So think about this even. Maybe your social circle loves going out for, you go out to eat, you go out to drink, and that's how you bond. That's how y'all spend time together. But now you're trying to make these changes to feel better physically and emotionally. And then now here's where things start to connect. Your social is connecting with your physical, is connecting with your emotional. It's all mixed up. So now it's not just about saying no to a night out, but about finding ways to keep your relationships going, keeping them strong while staying true to your goals. Or maybe even recognizing that you can't change people and that, maybe that group or certain people in the group, they're not going to vibe with your new change. They might not want to see you change or might not know how to support you in your change, or they might not want to change for themselves. And that might mean your relationship might change. So you have to be mentally prepared for those types of things. So maybe you could suggest another type of meetup, maybe a daytime meetup, explore other activities together that align with this new way that you're trying to live, and then see what happens. But those things, that's just a small example of how everything is connected. So taking care of your whole self, it's about creating that harmony, that balance across the board. All those pieces have to start working together because you ain't trying to just survive, my dude. You're trying to thrive, all right? So let's get this going. We got to get that sweet spot, okay? So paying attention to these different parts of your life, it's important because when you ignore one while you're trying to improve on another one, you might not realize how much that one that you're ignoring, or you might not be ignoring it on purpose, but you are ignoring it, and it's impacting your ability to make strides and advance and make progress in the other part. Because I mean, all of them are not happening in a bubble. Life is gonna life, and you have to look at each part of it, because life is not just one aspect. So if you're at work and you're stressed out, you might not want to eat those healthy foods. You might want to emotionally eat. So you have to address your emotions. You have to address your stress. It's just all these different things that work together. So when we say wellness, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about looking at the different dimensions, and maybe you're strong in one dimension and you don't even have to really check for that one too much. But maybe you're really weak in another one, and it's impacting your ability to change in another area that you'd like to change. So you just need to focus in and make sure that you're aware of that so that you could make the necessary adjustments. All right. So how are we going to bring this all together? How are we going to use this information? So we have to start taking stock from right where you are right now. Which dimensions do you feel balanced in? Like I said, where are you okay? Which ones you think might need a little love? You gotta look at it a little bit closer and say, all right, this one is not working for me. So write it down, reflect on it. Remember, it's progress over perfection. That's not what we are going for. Okay, we're all just working to progress, to improve. Okay, so my challenge for you this week is to pick one area of wellness to focus on. Maybe it's reconnecting with the friend for the social dimension. Maybe it's making healthier food in nutritional dimension. Maybe it's setting boundaries at work. Just start small and see how it feels to give that area the attention it deserves. See how it makes you feel, and then we could build on that one, okay? Because that's what we're about. We're about building these small steps, building on them until we get to the point where we're happy, we're content, okay? Until we design what it is that we want to design, all right? So I'd love to hear about what your reflections are. I want to hear which dimension you plan on improving or working on this week. Share your thoughts with me on social media, hashtag Real Well with Mika. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. Remember, your wellness is about the progress, not the perfection. Stay well, stay balanced. Tune in for the next one. And as always, happy healthing. See you in the next episode.